statement by Jim Ratcliffe. I mean, it's the sort of thing people say in pubs, but you don't often get someone of Jim Ratcliffe's standing to say it in public. By the way, our audience are right behind Sir Jim, but he's gone on to Sky News and said Britain has been colonised by immigrants. He said you can't have an economy with 9 million people on benefits and huge levels of immigrants coming in. I mean, the UK has been colonised and it's costing too much money. Your thoughts, Simon?
I'm glad somebody's saying it, to be quite honest, Kevin. I think he's exactly right. He pointed out that the population of Britain has gone from, I think, 58 million in 2020 to 70 million today. And it's completely unsustainable. This is the point that he's making, and I wish, mainstream politicians would listen to what he has got to say. And he's right about immigrants. We've been colonised by immigrants, and the many consequences of that. This idea of multiculturalism clearly hasn't worked. We've been forced to believe that we can all live happily together, but they've brought different cultures that have been very unhealthy in many towns and cities across the United Kingdom. Many more going on to benefits. The number on benefits now is just astronomical. I mean, it's just outrageous. Totally unsustainable. You can't, and we've got a Labour government that's trying to tax us to keep it that way. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. So I'm pleased he's come out and said this.
I mean, so what we're in, we're talking about the migrant crisis. We're talking about the economy being colonised by migrants. In the past few days, another 500 or so have come across the channel, so that's still going on. We've got 16 migrants in the High Court today challenging their deportation under the ludicrous failed one-in, one-out scheme, and so on and so forth. We've got this stabbing, this awful stabbing at a school yesterday in London, where we hear that the perpetrator, a 13-year-old kid with a knife, shouted Allah Akbar. Of course, the police have said that is not a terrorist incident, because they always say it's not a terrorist incident. I mean, it just feels to me, Simon, like we are trapped in a perfect storm of a country that is falling apart at the seams under the control of a government that has no idea what it's doing and a prime minister who has no power, no authority, and frankly no talent. We're in a really bad state, aren't we?
We're in a real mess, and I think it was Robert Jenrick, who's gone from Conservative to Reform, that said Britain is broken. And that is exactly right. 66,000 illegal immigrants have come into Britain since Keir Starmer became Prime Minister. This is the guy that told us he was going to smash the gangs. That's the platform on which he tried to get elected, or he did get elected in July 2024. Smash the gangs. 66,000, that's those that we know about. The ones that have come into Britain that we don't know about, that we haven't counted, will be considerably more. And that's adding to the population all the time. Officially it's at 70 million. Unofficially, it will be much higher. There's no doubt about that. Lots of people working in the informal economy. I've met some of these people. I'll be completely honest with you. They aren't even being counted. And it's just not sustainable. And you're right, we're in a really bad situation. The good news, if we're to take any good news from any of this, it is pretty dark at the moment.
Yeah, please tell me, what have you got?
Well, the good news is that from a political perspective, for the first time in my lifetime, I've been in politics nearly 40 years, but we are now coming up with some dramatic solutions that would never have got the light of day at one time. So politicians talking about deportations, you couldn't have even said that 12 months ago, but now it's being talked about. So, if we have a Reform or a centre-right coalition government after the next general election, which I think will be sooner than 2029, so that's another positive, then I think we'll have a centre-right government that's prepared to implement deportations. I think we have, we now talk, as Jim Ratcliffe has, about far too many people being on benefits. And again, that's something that wasn't being talked about. And so we are looking at dramatic solutions to coming out of the European Convention on Human Rights is now a mainstream view, conservative.
Except among the Labour government, where they're still addicted to that ludicrous organisation.